Hey everyone, my name is Jody Jacobs. I am the owner and founder of Market Start, the ultimate guide to help you getting started in the stock market. It is the #1 comprehensive step-by-step program to help you get started, as well as learn how to navigate the stock market. So I am here today to talk to you about 5 ways that you can stop losing money in the stock market. But stick around until the end because I'm also going to give you 3 ways to make money in the stock market. Yes, there are numerous ways to make money in the stock market, but what a lot of people don't understand is that sometimes they are disguised as ways that you can actually lose a lot of money in the stock market. And so, as I said before, that's what I'm here today to talk to you about. Okay, so 5 ways to stop losing money in the stock market. #1, buying stocks with high volatility. High volatility is when a stock will swing up very high, where you'll see it go up about 10, 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 points in one day, points being dollars. But then sometimes you'll see that same stock drop 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 100 points in one day. So if you want to stop losing money in the stock market, I highly suggest that you stop buying these stocks or don't invest in them to begin with. Because yes, they may look like a way to make a lot of money in the stock market, but if you haven't been investing for a really long time, if you're not used to that volatility, I highly recommend staying away from those stocks, which are more times than not tech stocks. So try to stay away from those in your beginning journey in the stock market. The #2 way to stop losing money in the stock market is to not buy options. There are so many schemes out there or day trading techniques out there that will teach you how to basically become rich overnight. So they say. And a lot of this has to do with buying options. Options are another way of gambling in the stock market. So you hear a ton of people talk about how investing in the stock market is gambling. That's not always true, okay? Yes, it can be risky. Just like any investment out there, it can be very risky. But when you're buying options, you're not actually owning the stock. And there's an expiration on the amount of time that you're allowed to hold those options. So, in short, it can be very, very confusing. If I were to go into detail about options, it's a whole course in and of itself. So trust me when I say, do not buy options unless, again, you've been investing in the stock market for a very long time and you understand them completely, because there are so many different components when it comes to buying options that it is so confusing, and 9 out of 10 times they do not work in your favor. So stay away from those programs, stay away from those so-called gurus who want to teach you about buying options, because like I said, 9 out of 10 times it does not go in your favor. The #3 reason to stop losing money in the stock market is to not buy biotech stocks. Biotech stocks, once again, are disguised as a way to make a lot of money in the stock market. They are actually pretty volatile, going back to reason #1 to stop losing money in the stock market. And what happens is these are stocks that are based on companies that they have a patent pending, or they have some kind of drug that they're testing that hasn't technically gone through a clinical trial yet. So with biotech stocks, depending on whether or not the FDA approves them, whether or not the clinical trial goes well, they can swing up pretty high, yes, but if FDA approval doesn't go through, or if the clinical trial doesn't go well, or sometimes if it does go well, these stocks can go down pretty far and pretty fast. So I highly recommend staying away from biotech stocks. You do not want to get caught up in that. Okay, #4. The #4 way to stop losing money in the stock market is to not invest in mutual funds. There was a study done recently that said that about 86% of mutual funds underperform. 86%. That means most likely the mutual fund that you're investing in is not going to move in your favor. A lot of these mutual fund managers are just out to find as many people to invest in a mutual fund as possible, and it's not necessarily going to move in your favor. No matter how good-hearted this mutual fund manager sounds or how good they are at sales, because mutual fund managers are essentially salesmen or women. And like I said before, about 86% of mutual funds underperform. So it's not always a bad idea to invest in a mutual fund, but you want to make sure that that mutual fund has the actual track record of making their clients money. Because as I said, once again, 86% of them do not. So please be careful when investing in a mutual fund. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you read all the fine print in the contracts, okay? Otherwise, I just highly recommend you stay away from mutual funds. Okay, the number 5 way to stop losing money in the stock market is to not invest with a money manager, or to not have a money manager manage your funds. Let's face it, guys, no one is going to care more about your money than you. And this is actually why I started the Market Start program to begin with, is because I really want retail traders or retail investors like yourself to know how to navigate the stock market, to know how to get started in the stock market so that you can make your money work for you. So you can go on that lavish vacation, or so you can quit your pesky day job. Just make your money work for you. Live the dream. But on the way there, you want to learn how to manage your own money. I have spoken to so many people who have either lost money or just not made enough because they handed all of their money over to a money manager who didn't know as much about the stock market as they could have had they just spent the time. So spend maybe 5-10 additional hours a week learning how to invest your money in the stock market, learning how the stock market works, getting a feel for how it ebbs and flows. And I promise you, you will make more money than any money manager out there will ever promise to make you. And that's if they're not losing money. And also keep in mind that if you do start working with a money manager for whatever reason, they're taking profit. Most money managers are not only taking profit on what you make, or they're taking a percentage of the profit that you make, but they're also making commission on each trade that they make on your behalf at their discretion. So be very careful, play it very safe, and be very wise if you decide to work with a money manager, because once again, they're not always out for your best interest. They have goals and quotas that they have to hit at your expense. So be very careful. And once again, read all the fine print in that contract should you decide to go that route. However, I am going to recommend that you learn how the stock market works on your own so that you can make money on your own, because once again, no one is going to care about your money more than you. Okay, so there you have it. 5 ways to stop losing money in the stock market. Not buying stocks with high volatility, not buying biotech stocks, not buying options, not investing in mutual funds, and not investing with the wrong money manager. All right, and I'm gonna give you one more bonus. Here it is. Don't buy penny stocks. Yes, they appear cheap, but once again, they're highly volatile, they're highly speculative, and 9 out of 10 times you're gonna lose money. All right, so there's my bonus tip for you. All right, now that we have ways to not lose money in the stock market, let's talk about the 3 ways to make money in the stock market. Number 1, buy value stocks. Yes, this is something that you may have heard Warren Buffett talk about, and I cannot stress this enough. Buy value stocks. A value stock is basically a stock that is being sold on the market for a lower price than what it's worth. Yes, there is a lot of research that has to go into this, but as I was saying before, listen, an extra 5 to 10 hours a week in order to learn how the stock market works and really brush up on what makes a company profitable and how a company works, you will be a stock market genius in no time. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is buy ETFs. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, which is basically a basket of stocks that's usually in the same industry. So this is a good way to invest because you usually have stocks in there that are going to balance themselves out. The ETFs usually move sideways, which means that you might not make a ton of money right up front, but you're also not going to lose a ton of money. So for most of them anyway. So that is usually a safer bet when it comes to investing in the stock market. Yes, there are components to it that you are going to want to research. All of this requires research. But ultimately, it's usually on the safer side to invest in ETFs. The number three way to make money in the stock market, which is something that is one of my personal ways and also something that I teach a lot of in the Market Start program, is diversifying your portfolio based on the different sectors. There are 11 sectors in the stock market, and some of them are going to be going up during certain periods of time, depending on the economic climate, and some of them are going to be going down. So it's a good way to balance out your portfolio so that you are making that 10 to 12% a year. Again, this is going to require research, and this is something that we talk about a lot in Market Start, but it is, as I said, my favorite way to invest in the stock market. So study those 11 sectors, which are also industries, and you will be on your way in no time. All right, so there you have it. You have your 6 ways to stop losing money in the stock market. I told you it was going to be 5, I gave you 6. And you have 3 ways to make money in the stock market. I hope that was super helpful. Feel free to join our Facebook group. We've got a lot of up-to-date information that's going in there pretty much daily. We've got lots of conversations going on about the current climate of the market and everything that's happening on a pretty up-to-date basis. And I think for a very limited time, we may have a code below for you to get $500 off of the Market Start program. So feel free to look for that. Like I said, it's a very limited time. And once again, I hope this was helpful. I wish you all the best of luck in your stock market journey. And if there is any way that you feel we can further help you, feel free to reach out to us at assistant@themarketstart.com. All right, guys, we look forward to seeing you again.